Today's technology tidbit gets more deeply into the creation of a Google form. Today in part 2, we're going to create a Google form. So, we're going to hit that big red create button in the top left, and we're going to pick form. We're going to work from the top of the screen to the bottom of the screen to get a feel for what the possibilities are. Once again, remember, I'm in my district account. So as I start with an untitled form, I'm going to give it a name. So we'll call it a sample formative assessment, since that's what we're going to use this for. Now that I've given it a name, and notice that when I typed the name up here, it filled it in also at the top of the page. Now I can give it a look and feel. That's by clicking the Change Theme button. On the right-hand side of the screen, I see a variety of different themes to choose from. Since we're doing a science lesson on momentum and we want the students to explain to us what they got out of that lesson, we're going to pick cars and trucks. And then I am ready to edit my questions again, so I'm going to go back to edit questions. We've already changed our theme. We're back into edit question mode. And the first thing that is checked off is require a district login to view this form. You would want to do this if you are going to select the next choice, which is to collect the respondent's district username. Another reason you might want to require a district login is because you only want this form to be used within district. So even if the link is shared outside the district, you won't be able to get responses from outside the district. On the other hand, suppose you are sending out a form to parents, you would not, in that case, check this off. You would uncheck it so that you can go outside of the district to get responses. But since we're doing a formative assessment and everyone has a district account, we're going to require a login. The next thing we're going to check off is to collect the respondent's username. This will allow in the responses that you will see the student's username, and that will allow you to make sure that everybody is accountable for their own work. If you have a particularly long involved form, then you would check Show Progress bar at the bottom of form pages. So this is going to be a simple series of 2 or 3 questions. Now we're going to put our question in. This is a science. Describe what happens when a large vehicle hits a small vehicle that's standing still. And we want it to be paragraph text so that the students have plenty of space to write in. We're not going to worry about the advanced settings right now, and we are going to make sure that this little toggle switch, required question, is checked. That way when they hit the submit button, we're sure that they have answered the questions that we need answered. Then we're going to answer one more question, and this time we're going to make it a checkbox. How are you feeling about today's lesson? And we can have great, not so great, and I need more time to think about it. If you want to, you can click Add Other, and that will leave a box with the ability for the students to type something next to it. Again, I'm going to check Required Question, and done. Now, once I'm finished, I can record specialized text that goes in here. The standard is your response has been recorded. I can say, thank you, Mrs. G, and then when my students submit their answers, they'll see that. I do give them sometimes the ability to submit another response, but this time only one per customer, so I'm going to uncheck that. I can determine if I want other people to see the results of the form. Right now, I'm not going to do that. And if I allow a lot of writing, I will allow responders to edit the responses after submitting. That way they do get the opportunity to go back and fix any typing errors. Once I'm ready, I can click Send Form or View Live Form. Because I'm going to share the link with people, I'm going to pick View Live Form. Here's what my form looks like. Notice it has a warning at the top that your username will be recorded when you submit this form. Now, if I want to share the form with my students, one way to do it is to select the URL at the top of the page and to copy it. I can send it in an email or I can post it online, for example, in Moodle. Once students have been busy filling out their responses, you can click View Responses and you'll see their results as they fill them in. At the time you deem appropriate, you may decide that it's time to close down the form so that students can no longer enter responses. Simply go back to the form itself. If you have it open, you can just click on the tab. If not, you can go into your Google Drive. Here's my sample formative assessment, and I can just go to the form that way. As you can see, I'm back in edit mode. So now I can go up to my responses and I can click Accepting Responses, and now this form has been turned off. And if someone does click the link, this is the message that they'll get. So that allows you to determine how long you will accept responses on your form. Another thing you can do is take a look at the summary of responses. This is particularly useful when you are using non-text responses. So if you have multiple choice or single answers, grids, and scales. And you'll be able to see pie charts and bar charts of the responses.